What did the Apostle Paul mean when he said that the regency of God is not food and drink? Romans 14:17. Well, this goes back to what I talked about in this video, the regency of God and the mystery, 189, which I followed with this video here, the regency of God in ability, where, by the way, I'm putting all of these videos in a playlist collections here, just to keep them organized, because the topic of all these videos is the regency of God, which is specific to the mystery, which we'll see here also. And although there is a wider context to what Paul is explaining in this chapter concerning the weak in faith, well, when Paul says that the regency of God, again, remember, which is specific to the mystery of Ephesians 1:9-10, when he says it's not in food and drink, well, this points us to Colossians chapter 2, where here in verses 16 and 17, Paul also says that, hence, let no one judge you in food or in drink, or in due to part of a feast, or a young month, or Sabbath terms, which are a shadow of the things being about to come. So, what is the shadow of things being about to come? Well, simply, it's not the mystery, which is the heavenlies on context. So, here in Hebrews 8, we read, who the worship according to the law, the preceding covenant, is a showing or example and shadow of the heavenlies on. The heavenlies on according to the mystery again. Remember, as I talked about in the first video in this so-called series here, the mystery of Ephesians 1:9 concerns the upheading of terms here, according to what is called a heavenlies on. This is the superposition blessing. Or again, if we come back to Hebrews chapter 8, we back up to verse 1, when the writer talks about who has taken seat at the right hand of the throne of the majesty in the heavens, again, the shadow of the heavenlies on would to not come to the heavenlies on context. Okay, because it's being contrasted to the earthly on instead type. The archpriest who down established to offer gifts besides also sacrifices according to the law of Moses, which is the showing example of the shadow of the heavenlies on. So, the regency of God, according to the mystery, is not food and drink. For the regency of God is not food and drink. Hence, no one has to judge you in food or in drink, or due to a feast or a young month or Sabbath terms, which are a shadow of the heavenly on. The shadow is not the advantage point of the heavenlies on, according to the context of Christ, who has taken seat at the right hand, also in the heavenlies on. Back to Ephesians 1:20, awakening him out of died ones and giving him seat in at his right hand in the heavenlies on, where we, according to the mystery, have been awakened together, and let us take seat together in the heavenlies on in Christ Jesus. Not the shadow, but the heavenlies on itself, which is the heavenly on regency. 2 Timothy 4:18, according to the mystery, everything according to heavenly on, epuranios, the superposition of the regency, accords with the mystery, in contrast to the shadow of things about to come. For the law, having only a shadow of the good being about to come, which the good being about to come would be the heavenlies on. So again, not one has to judge you in food or in drink or due to part of a feast or a young month or Sabbath terms, which are a shadow of things being about to come, not the heavenly on. So understand that those who want to go backwards to the law of Moses, Hebrews roots, Torah keepers, this is the shadow of the heavenlies on calling. Hebrews 3:1. Wherefore, holy brothers, co-havers of the heavenly on calling. The same heavenly on gift, Hebrews 6:4. Where the enlightenment mentioned here concerns the mystery. Paul says, to me, the very least of all the holy ones, this same grace was given to well announce to the nations the unoutraceable riches of the Christ, and to enlighten, which is the guardship of the dwelling law of the mystery, having been secreted away from the eons in God. Okay, so if we go back to Ephesians 1, into you, the ones having been enlightened in regards to the eyes of your heart, for you to perceive which is the expectation of his calling, this is the heavenly on calling, which are the riches of the law according allotment of the glory in the holy ones who will take seat together with Christ to judge the cosmos, according to the terms to uphead the all here, in relationship to the mystery, making known to us the mystery of his will in relationship to the heavenlies on blessing. For those outchosen us in him before the downcast of the cosmos, the heavenlies on, where the regency of Matthew 25:34 is prepared from the downcast of the cosmos, which is not the heavenly on allotment here. The heavenly on regency are those who are the angels here. When the Son of Human comes in the glory and all the angels with him, then he will take seat on the throne of his glory, which is the heavenlies on context, where this is the shadow of things being about to come, who will come into this allotment, including the least. Right here, my least brothers, to complete Christ's body. So the regency of the God is not in food and drink. It's not the shadow of things to come. It's the heavenlies on